Well, guys, forgive the unusual video, but I am currently without my laptop, hence why the podcast didn't go ahead last night. I am working on sorting it out. Anyway, guys, we've got a lot to get through in this video today. Obviously, it's this morning, could be this afternoon, could be this evening that you pick it up. Obviously, welcome to Glasgow Rangers Nation. I'm your host, Owen James. Please, obviously, smash that sub. We're going to talk a bit what Big Bad Barry Ferguson has been saying about the upcoming Old Firm. We're going to talk about another centre-back, this time a left-footed one, guys. Just what we need, a left-footed one linked to the club. We're going to talk about the late, great Sir Walter, and it should be Sir. And has Philippe Clement really genuinely got nothing to lose on Saturday, or is there an awful lot riding on this fixture for him personally? Lots to get through here on the video, here on Glasgow Rangers Nation. So, look, this weekend is massive. It is ginormous. It is a huge fixture. We know that. It is a fixture that could, if it goes the right way, obviously sway the whole title race back in our favour. Now, I've never really genuinely, felt as, nervous as this, as kind of less confident than this going into a game. Now, I'm trying to maintain a positive. I'm trying to maintain a real can-do attitude for our boys. And I'll tell you, reading your comments and your thoughts, not only here on YouTube, but on X, on TikTok, on Facebook, on all the places you can find Glasgow Rangers Nation. It's a real mixed bag, guys. It's a real mixed bag. There's the fans amongst us that, are supremely confident that we can do it, that we can go there and get a result. There's those that think we can get a result, but still won't win the league because of the goal difference situation. And then there's those that have got absolutely no confidence in us. It really does seem a very mixed bag and, very un-Rangers-like in a way going into an Old Firm game. Now, it is a game that, realistically we have got to win. Having not beaten them this season, we do need to get a victory over them sooner rather than later. And I know it's, not since the days of COVID have we won at Celtic Park. And look, at the end of the day, it's got to come soon. You know what? It can't go on forever that we don't win there, that we don't go and get a result against them at their home ground. It just isn't. It has to change someday. Why not Saturday? Yes, this squad perhaps isn't the best in the world. Yes, this squad has a number of injuries. Yes, this squad is a bit last man standing. And yes, this squad has let us down on a number of occasions. But, maybe, just maybe, they may come out of right field and completely surprise us. Who knows? Now, former Rangers captain Barry Ferguson has been talking about the situation on Go Radio. Now, obviously, Barry Ferguson was part of a number of successful Rangers teams against that lot and was involved in a number of very intense battles with Celtic. Guys, if I stop calling them that lot, apparently it causes complaints. So, what's Barry had to say in about this forthcoming fixture? What's his take on the whole thing? While speaking on Go Radio, he said he, as in Callum McGregor, starts the attack. They're just little passes, but they're important passes. Rangers need to make sure Callum McGregor is facing back to Joe Hart every time he gets the ball. And if he does turn, you take a foul. Now, Ferguson was clear. And he went on to say that, it's worth, getting stuck into McGregor, getting through him, getting, in effect, kicking him and letting him know you're there. Now, obviously, in this modern game, that is more difficult, given the, the prevalence of bookings. And the fact it is obviously Willie Collum, who will look for any chance to make the game about him. Now, we'll talk about Willie Collum in a minute. Now, Ferguson's right there about one thing. If Rangers are going to be successful on Saturday, it is very much about getting up in their faces, about ragdolling them, about, being physical and letting them know that we are there and letting them know we are up for the fight, up for the battle. If there's one thing Celtic don't like, it's you coming after them. It's about you getting in their faces. It's about, pulling them down and really going for a physical fight with them. They're not up for that at all. That's not the sort of players they've got. And if we can, keep Callum McGregor turned away from our goal, keep him facing backwards, receiving the ball with his back to goal, we can reduce his effectiveness. And, if we also make him wary of when he does receive the ball, that he's going to get clattered, that's another thing, to really move us forward. Now, yes, we do have to be careful. Yes, obviously, Willie Collum is the referee for this game. Now, Willie Collum, obviously, look, I've heard an awful lot of Rangers fans really worried about the fact that Willie Collum is the referee. But look, yes, I am worried that Collum is the referee. Why am I worried that Collum is the referee? Because Willie Collum likes to make every game about him. Willie Collum is sort of person that believes that when he's refereeing a football match, it needs to be the Willie Collum show rather than the two teams on display. But if you're being honest, does it really matter who referees this game? You know, Nick Walsh, Kevin Clancy, John Beaton, Don Robertson. Do you know what? They're all as bad as each other. Scottish referees as a whole, whether it's Column, no matter who it is, they're genuinely absolutely dreadful. You know, hence why there's none of them going to Euro 2024, hence why UEFA would rather pull in an Argentine referee rather than actually use a Scottish referee, because they are genuinely that bad, which hopefully will send some message to the SFA about improving the standards. Well, let's move it along a little bit and let's talk about the late, great Sir Walter. Yes, Walter Smith, a man who achieved remarkable things. I think it was over 21 major trophies during his time with Rangers, and leading us to the 2008 UEFA Cup final in Manchester against Zenit St. Petersburg, which we unfortunately went on to lose. But, you know, the journey there was epic, including that nerve-shredding penalty shootout in Florence. Now, look, Walter has, I think, for a long time deserved, you know, more accolades for what he achieved at the club. The 9 in a row, for example, being one of the biggest. The way he represented the club, the way he held himself, the way that he led this team both on and off the field was absolutely incredible. Now, the club officially obviously did tweet out today that the statue will be unveiled on the day of the Scottish Cup final. So obviously laying more pressure on the team that they can't let Sir Walter down. They have to win the Scottish Cup. There's no way that we can unveil the statue of Sir Walter in the morning and then lose to Celtic in the afternoon. That is just not permissible. So let's hope the players understand and realise that. Now, John Bennett has been talking about the club's position and the club's unveiling of this statue. Now, I know John Bennett has his critics, and I know, obviously, you know, John Bennett has a lot to prove, but this is not the time for discussing that. You know, what did John have to say? He says it's a poignant moment in the history of our great football club to unveil a statue to the legendary former manager Walter Smith. The outpouring of tributes which arrived from near and far following the passing 2.5 years ago speaks volumes to the stature of Walter as both a human being and the custodian of our great football club. And there is no Ranger more deserving of a modern era of being honoured in bronze, and it will be a bronze statue by all accounts of Walter Smith. He says, I would like to place on record our thanks as a club to the artist and the sculptor. Douglas Jennings, as well as internal and external caretakers, my apologies there, external stakeholders who have helped facilitate the process since the commissioning of the statue in October 2022. He went on to then state further to that more comments as regards this statue. He said, I'm sure the day of the unveiling will be one full of emotion for Walter's wife Ethel, his 2 sons Neil and Stephen, and the rest of the family. The work consolidates the significance of the great man and the place he occupies in the storied history of Rangers Football Club. And, you know, it is absolutely fantastic that this statue is been unveiled on the day of the Scottish Cup final. That it hopefully will give the team a boost and a lift, and it will hopefully give the fans even more of a boost and a lift, knowing that, you know, finally we have something to honour the great Walter Smith. You know, well done to the club. You know, I do criticise the club when they get things wrong, and I will hold the club to account. I'm not a happy clapper. I'm not someone who just blindly follows and happily claps everything they do and does not hold them to account. You know, that is not a good fan. A good fan is someone who will hold them to account for what they do. And for me, that's what I'm trying to do for you guys, as well as obviously Rangers as a whole. You know, so well done to the club for obviously what they've done. Well done for the date, and well done for the statue as well. Fantastic news about this statue. Absolutely brilliant. Now, let's talk a little bit about this link to a new transfer target, a Panamanian international. That's right, Panamanian international, currently at Levski Sofia in Bulgaria. This guy is called Jose Cordoba, despite all those other names you may see there up on screen. His name is Jose Cordoba. He has got a huge succession of names there, but he's just known as Jose Cordoba. And he is 22 years old, so very much does fit this trading model. He is a left-sided centre-back. Again, something we definitely need, with probably the likely departure of Ben Davies. And the fact we don't really have a balance to those centre-back pairings. I think centre-back is high on the list of priorities this summer. I think we need to bring at least 2 top-quality centre-backs to supplement what we have and what we may keep at the end of this season. I mean, John Souter, I think, will remain. I think Leon Balogun is worthy of another year's contract. That, I think, with 2 new arrivals, would certainly give you 4 decent centre-halves to take you through the season. Cordoba is quick. He's good in the air. He's good at breaking the lines with his passing. He's good at bringing the ball out from the back. He does possess everything you need from a modern centre back. So, he is certainly someone that Rangers apparently are looking at, which has been rumoured in Bulgaria and obviously as well in his homeland. In terms of his career to date, he started off at Independiente, where he made 11 appearances, before moving on to Eitar, where he made 19 appearances. Since then, he's been at Levski Sofia, where he's made 87 appearances and had 4 assists. So it appears that Cordoba is somebody that Rangers may well be looking at. Now, this obviously comes on the top of all those other transfer rumours I spoke about and raw reports that I spoke about yesterday in the video. If you haven't checked that out, please go back and check out that video that I brought out yesterday, which was that one there, as regards to transfer rumours and reports. So look, overall, Cordoba could be someone that Rangers are, indeed looking at, or we could just be very much in transfer silly season. It's nice to see, though, like I said on the video earlier, that Rangers are shopping in different markets in Eastern Europe, in Scandinavia, in South Africa, in America, and looking away from those, English Championship players who come on very high wages and would limit the amount of players we can bring in. Certainly someone who's at Levski Sofia, I think, with only a year remaining on his contract, is certainly very affordable for Rangers and someone that we could possibly be looking at bringing in the summer. So very interesting indeed. Now, Rangers obviously go into Saturday's game, having not obviously got a positive result against Celtic this season. A defeat at Ibrox, a defeat at Parkhead, a draw at Ibrox this season, obviously not having met in the League Cup. The first meeting in the Cup competition will come in the Cup final on the 25th. Phil Clermont, you kind of feel, I think some people are saying, well, look, technically Rangers have got nothing to lose because nobody's expecting them to go to Parkhead and get anything. Nobody's expecting them to win. Nobody's expecting them to be successful. But I think there has to be an expectation that Clermont does start to turn the tide. Now, whether that victory does lead us winning a treble or winning a double or winning just the league and the League Cup, who knows what it leads to us actually doing. But for me, there is something to lose. There really is. Clermont, I think, for me, needs to start to prove that he can overcome Celtic, that he can beat them, and he can start to get a team ready to go, not only to play at home and beat them, or perform well against them as we did in the second half of the Ibrox game, but also to go to Parkhead and be successful. If long-term Rangers are going to build to become a successful team, and I don't for a minute think that this squad is that team that will be successful long-term, Clermont does need to start to prove for me that he can organise a team to go there and be successful. That is what we need to start to show. It's maybe not always, yes, it is about obviously staying in the league title race, but it's also about laying down that marker, about changing the mentality at the club, about getting the monkey off our backs. For too long now, we've kind of had this expectation that we go to Parkhead and we kind of get beaten. That's just the way things are. But for me, that needs to start to change and obviously feed into the psyche, feed into building the mentality ready for next season. Well, guys, let me know what you think, obviously, of the stories we've covered here on the video today. Sorry, it's not been the normal type of video, but like I said, we have got a few laptop issues here. Thank you for watching Glasgow Rangers Nation. And as always, guys, on the way out, if you can, number 1, smash the like, and number 2, remember always, we are the people.